Over the last couple months, and especially the last couple weeks, the talk of Stewart-Haas Racing moving to Dodge has really heated up. And to be fair, there's not completely substantial evidence that we can immediately point to. I'm only going off the fact of this being a pretty fun story if it were to happen. So today, I want to talk to you guys about 9 reasons why I think Stewart-Haas Racing should move to Dodge, because I think that it would be a really good move, not only for them, but for Dodge and for NASCAR. And I'm about to tell you all about it right after this. 'Tis the season to be shopping. And what should you be shopping for? Well, Raycons. Raycons have a sleek rubber oil look to them, and they have a comfortable, squishy new feel in the gel tips that fit into any ear. Absolutely essential when it comes to listening to your favorite songs. With 8 hours of playtime and 32 hours of battery life, you'll have all the time in the world to use them when doing just about anything. Whether it's shopping, whether it's running, whether it's ignoring those family relatives you only see at Christmas time, you'll be able to do it with some Raycons. I use mine every time I go train for my marathon running. And with the built-in mic, I can even call people while I run in case I need to let them know, hey, I'm going an extra couple miles. Raycon goes an extra couple miles, and they start off at half the price of other premium audio brands, but they sound just as good. Plus, there's a 45-day happiness guarantee, and come on, who doesn't like being happy at this time of year? So click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/iceberg to unlock exclusive deals and 20% off your Raycon order. That's buyraycon.com/iceberg for 20% off of your order. Now, back to the show. And the first reason that I think Stewart-Haas Racing should move to Dodge is because Stewart-Haas Racing has guaranteed young drivers in the pipeline right now and in the Cup Series that would be able to fit right into a Dodge program and be Dodge developmental drivers. So in Cup, you have Briscoe and Custer. These two drivers have not set the world on fire, but Briscoe was pretty damn good in the Xfinity Series, and so was Custer, let's be honest. Both these young drivers haven't performed well, but they have something that any manufacturer would want: drivers with potential. Now, they also have Riley Herbst in the Xfinity Series. He has not run very well, but he is a young driver who brings his own sponsorship, so that's something that Dodge wouldn't have to worry about. You see, remember the last time that Dodge came in, they had to foot some of the bill when it came to sponsoring cars. This time with Stewart-Haas Racing, well, they wouldn't have to, because sponsorship is almost guaranteed in some or a lot of races with Stewart-Haas. Think of Stewart-Haas Racing sponsors in the last 5 years, and there's a lot of them that are very consistent. You have Smithfield with Eric Almirola. They're going to cover most, if not all of that. You have Mobil 1. You have Rush Truck Centers. You have plenty of different sponsors that are willing to fill in the blanks throughout. Now, I talked about Stewart-Haas Racing having younger drivers, but they also have veteran drivers guaranteed to be on the team more than likely when Dodge were to arrive. You have Kevin Harvick, who is considered to have had a bad year, but in reality is just bad by Kevin Harvick standards because he didn't win. He was incredibly consistent throughout the year, and he probably should have won a couple times. And you have Eric Almirola, who had a pretty horrible year, let's be real, but Stewart-Haas Racing was horrible, and Almirola was the lone bright spot this past year, getting a win, and a lot of times his results didn't match where he ran. So with the perfect mix, in my opinion, of young drivers and veteran drivers to kind of fill it out, I think that this would be good for Dodge. If you remember last time Dodge came into the sport, they had a good veteran driver in, well, some guy named Bill Elliott, and they also had some younger drivers. While they didn't pan out, it was still their balance at the time was good enough that they were able to maintain until they got the drivers needed for good performance. Now, another thing when looking at Stewart-Haas Racing is the Stewart aspect. Tony Stewart needs a manufacturer that can trust in him with driver development and bringing in other drivers. Look at the Larson deal. Tony Stewart was first in line to get Kyle Larson, but Ford stepped in the way and, in turn, let a generational talent once again go to Hendrick Motorsports.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
And Stewart, from all accounts, is rightfully pissed about this. Larson went on a frickin' tear this year, winning 10 races and the championship, and to be honest, this could just be the beginning. Again, Ford has lost a generational talent. Don't forget, Ford was the same manufacturer that Jeff Gordon could have went with, but instead he went with Hendrick. Now you had the same with Kyle Larson, who in many respects is known by a lot of fans as the next Jeff Gordon. So I don't blame Stewart at all for being pissed. He's looking at a driver who, in his opinion, might be the best driver he's ever seen slip right out of his grasp because his manufacturer held him back. So he's going to want to have a bit more security when it comes to his manufacturer letting him decide what goes on with his team. And I would not be surprised if Dodge was very hands-off with that part and just let him decide. Also, Dodge has come into NASCAR before and they've won when they came in. You see, in 2001, Dodge came into NASCAR, and it was, in my opinion, part of the push that made NASCAR as big as it was in the early 2000s. Now, I'm not saying that Dodge coming into NASCAR in 2023 or 2024 is going to immediately elevate them to the level of the NBA or MLB in popularity again, but what I am saying is that they know how to win, they're fan favorites, and with somebody like Tony Stewart at the helm and drivers like Kevin Harvick and maybe even Chase Briscoe at that point, it wouldn't be bad to have drivers like that with this new manufacturer. While Dodge's tenure in NASCAR was only 12 years last time, it was still a very competitive one, and it was a very lucrative one. If you remember, the last memory we all have of Dodge right now is Brad Keselowski winning the NASCAR Sprint Cup in 2012. Now, I think what would really help Dodge win and what I think would help Stewart-Haas Racing is the fact that the next-gen car, in a lot of respects, will kind of level the playing field. The haves will still be above the have-nots, but at the same time, I don't think it will be as difficult for somebody like Dodge to jump in and immediately be competitive as it would for the COT or the Gen 6. Now, again, that could all be proven wrong. We haven't seen anything. This is all a lot of what-ifs, a lot of assumptions. But by all accounts, this probably should go in Dodge's favor. Now, another big part of it that I think a lot of people wouldn't be looking at right away is the fact that Stewart-Haas Racing and Dodge would probably be able to poach other oversaturated driver development programs. When you look at Toyota, they have had so many different drivers come into their development program, but because they don't have the teams ready to go to give them a ride at the top levels of NASCAR, they have to let them walk. Look at Joey Logano after he didn't succeed very quickly. Look at Eric Jones. Look at Daniel Suarez. These are drivers who have potential, but they need time to develop and were probably rushed through the pipeline. And now you're looking the same way at Christopher Bell. Look at somebody like Tony Stewart. He'll be able to discern right away which ones have talent, which ones don't, and which they should go after. Tony Stewart with Dodge might be the next Roger Penske bringing in someone like Joey Logano. And then the last one I want to bring up has nothing to do with performance, has nothing to do with in the shop, on the track, nothing at all with it. But it has to do with the fans. Because fans, ever since 2012, ever since 2013, ever since that area of time in NASCAR history, have been begging and pleading Dodge to come back. And if they do, it will be a fan favorite move. Can you imagine the confusion by a lot of NASCAR fans who hate Kevin Harvick but love the fact that he's winning in a Dodge? That would be beautiful to see. And I think what this would bring is a lot more of that manufacturer versus manufacturer battles in the fandom. You see it a lot of times with Chevy versus Ford. That's been a battle since the start of racing in NASCAR for both of them. But I would think that Dodge would add right on into that, and I think it would give a lot of fans who maybe had fallen off with drivers a chance to get back into it because they're Dodge fans. Don't ever underestimate the power of manufacturers in bringing in fans. While NASCAR will probably never be the way that Formula One is when it comes to constructors and manufacturers, NASCAR fans still love the cars themselves, and they will root for someone just because they're in the manufacturer that they like. And that is something that I think Dodge can really bring to the table for NASCAR again. Now, with all that being said, I want to pass this on to you. Do you think it's a good idea for Stewart-Haas Racing to move to Dodge down the line? Let me know down in the comments below whether you do or don't think it's the right move. And while you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. And thank you to all of my channel members for your continued support. It is amazing to see. So until next time, have a good one.